In this presentation, we will be discussing the power of language and how it affects and changes people's views on global warming. Neil Postman, a well-known author, media theorist, and cultural critic of the 20th century, once said, "Almost all education is language education." What he is trying to emphasize is the fact that language does not only come in the form of words, but through actions and visual content. Expressing and acknowledging oneself is not only found orally, but through hand gestures, yawning, music, media content, through images and video, or even statistics. Language's relationship with persuasion. Language is the key to persuasion. This is a direct correlation between the use of language and persuasion. There is a direct correlation between the use of language and persuasion. Language is key because it's the turning point to a point of view. It can be branched off into two different ways of knowing: reason and emotion. With reason, through evidence, such as images, statistics, and videos, one can form a logical reasoning behind his point of view or perspective on an idea. And also, as for emotion, through physical actions, one can form a dramatic effect and lure in the audience in order to emphasize his points and persuade the audience in a better manner. Physical actions equals emotion. By this I mean that physical actions can stimulate emotional response. It can stimulate emotional response by smiling, raising eyebrows, posture, and eye contact. All of these are significant and represent one's concern over their speech or their unconcern. Uh, Through hand gestures, it can be interpreted as one who is concerned, who wants to emphasize his points, as stated before. Hand gestures can be used to dramatize, show a dramatic effect over their ideas, lure in their audience. Evidence. Statistics can be found through evidence, and it can form a solid state of credibility. For example, Canadian scientists say the steep decline of western Hudson Bay polar bears continues this year, with the population now down 30% in the last 25 years. Also, the Arctic has lost about 40% of its sea ice cover since the 1980s, both extracted from an article on The Guardian. The key word in the previous quote was scientist. People will believe anything you say. Scientists have discovered that. This is reality. I picked this because it showed the truth. Because media creates a false illusion of truth. Evidence is an illusion. This is done by persuading people blindly to trust names such as scientists or doctors. People naturally use their reasoning and logic by assuming all scientists, doctors, engineers, etc. are credible. People look up to these professionals for judgmental decisions as a way to form logical reason to perceive an idea a certain way. In this image, taken by photographer Joe Booney, is of a polar bear stranded in the ocean because of global warming. I chose this photo because polar bears are an iconic figure and perfect example of global warming. When you think of polar bears and you think of global warming, you notice that there is a universal sympathetic feel towards the idea. Sympathy is a major factor in the reasoning on opinions of global warming. Their helplessness triggers the sympathy, and people's opinions on global warming will change. As for statistics, images also form a level of credibility. Music and language. By definition, the art of expression in sound, in harmony including both composition and exposition, is music. Music triggers an emotional response. After watching this video, you will notice that music is a way of expression. Music is more than beats and rhythms, but they are a way of expressing an opinion. Music is a way of understanding and interpreting the world around us. And through that, with the use of music, it can cause a dramatic effect and will add a goosebump effect on the audience, making them connect more with the issue or idea and concerning themselves more with the topic. Overall, language does in fact affect people's views on global warming and other global issues in general. It may come in different forms and with each its own special unique advantage to persuade.